Now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk Hookup. Get ready for more of the best fishing information and the hottest tips on improving your angling skills. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Yamaha Outboards. Reliability starts here. Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. And by Rancho Leonero, where your wildest Baja dreams come true. And now, Southern California's sports fishing voice, the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, and Corey Sandin.
All right, welcome back. Hour number 2 of Let's Talk Hookup coming your way right here on 97.3 The Fan. We are talking fishing with the boys from Dana Landing in Mission Bay and East County Bait and Tackle out in Lakeside. Steve, John, Gene, having a great time talking fishing. Really good info today on just, everything that swims, really. We got it covered from green bass and bluegill to spotties and halibut and calicos and 200-pound bluefins, man. Having a great time, Corey, and love talking fishing.
I'm all about it. If you're all about it, give us a shout at 833-288-0973. There is one open line, and give us a shout. We're giving away 2 gift certificates. Each one of them at $50, one to Dana, one to East County Bait and Tackle, and it sounds exactly what I could use for my El Salto fishing.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it.
You know, there's another thing, too, that, Gene, you guys do such a good job on, and Steve and I have fished together at Salto a few times. Corey practically lives down there anymore, and there's no better place to get yourself outfitted on gear that's, unique to down there. Big crankbaits and big swim baits and all that stuff that's unique to a fishery that's not even in this country, and you still have it all in stock.
Yeah, well, that's thanks to you guys, but no, citrus shad, crankbaits, those spin tricks have been doing really, really well since I brought those in about a year and a half ago.
10XDs.
10XDs, absolutely.
Big MC swim baits. Yeah, you got it all. You got it all for sure. Well, we're having a great time, great fishing. Just like Corey said, if you want to join us on the phones this morning, 833-288-0973, and we're going to find out what's biting out there, Corey. It's time for the Catch Report.
And the FishDope.com report is sponsored by the Sato Line Winder Kit. It has everything you need but the plywood board and your drill. It's a super high-tech line winder. It is comparable to winders that go for $2,000. The whole thing costs $300. Your best value in high-tech line winders. Get yours at the Longfin, Fisherman's Landing Tackle, and other selected tackle shops.
You got it, man. Well, hey, let's start off that FishDope.com report with the man, Captain Mark Wish, our FishDope.com reporter from Pacific Edge. What's up, Mark?
Hey, good morning, Ricky, Corey, and guests.
Good morning, Mark.
So, I got to limp through this here. I got to keep an eye on this voice here. Marginal again still, but great week offshore fishing, guys. So much going on. I really only got time to hit a couple of the major highlights here at Catalina. Still some very good yellowtail fishing to be had. It's not everywhere, and it's not for everyone, but there's still some really good signal on big ones. A lot of it's big ones, and a lot of it's on the front side, which the downside of that is the boat pressure on a summer weekend. And unfortunately, the sea lion issues have been ratcheting up there, but there's quite a lot of that big fish around. It's really good to see it still. Also around Catalina, and this is a little bit farther offshore, we're seeing more and more marlin, most of it's down below the east end, down the outside edge of the ledge there. And there's also been some on the front, up kind of in front of that Long Point area, but it's nice to see our marlins gathering up where they're supposed to be. Also showing a cat, and this is what bodes well for the rest of the season, is more and more bluefin showing around the island. There's kind of 2 areas of interest. One's mixed in the marlin zone down below the east end toward the 277, and the other is up west, pretty much where that big fish showed last year from outside the Farnsworth up across Cat Canyon to outside Ribbon Rock like that. Very good news there. It's not that giant stuff. It's more catchable size stuff, and it's really been up and down quickly. But it's biting a little bit, and it's the fact that it's there bodes well for what's going on for the rest of the season. And then, of course, you want to keep an eye on the kelp patties in that zone. They've been holding some yellows and some dorado. At San Clemente Island, still major Navy grief going on. You got to pay attention to the schedule, guys. But the big news is that bluefin bite, and the big news is the big ones. It's pushed up the back as far as the dunes on some days. It's hard to say because the Navy's really got a lot of that all 2 blocks, but mostly more down toward the east there. This morning, a lot of the guys are mounted up right around Desperation Reef proper. I hope that gets going like it did a few years back. But that whole sector is definitely in the Cowtown area. It's a lot of big fish this last week here, and the week before too. But I mean, it's a bunch of them over 200, probably a couple handfuls over 300 this week. You guys got to fish with that heavy tackle when you're in there flying those flyers or skipping the yummies or doing other things that are getting those fish, or some of those fish being caught on live mackerels also. So it's really looking good, and the grade of fish is tremendous. And then on your way back, make sure you take a look. They like that 289 zone. There's a little spot of warm water there. It's had some yellowfin tuna in it, too. So overall, our offshore scene is really looking good, guys. It's definitely time to go fishing.
That's great, Mark. Man, a fantastic report. Glad the voice held out for you. We sure appreciate you keeping us up to date with all that big fish. And if somebody wants to keep up during the week on what's going on, there's no better spot to do it than fishdope.com report. And you can save $20 off a new membership using the code HOOKUPNOW. HOOKUPNOW, all lowercase, no space, sends you $20 on that new membership. And Mark, if somebody wants to find you at Pacific Edge, get the best bait tanks in the business, or get your Yummy Flyer game all dialed in, how do we find you?
Oh, Ricky, we're in Huntington Beach. We're on the corner of Bolsa Chica and Edinger by that big Chevron station. And the phone number is area code 714-840-4262. The website's PacificEdgeTackle.com. And we'll talk to you guys next week. Hopefully I can have a little more voice here.
Yeah, rest of that voice. You did a great job, Mark. Appreciate that very much. We'll talk to you next week.
And all the way from Bolsa Chica and Edinger down to our favorite place on Mission Bay. It's C4 Sport Fishing. Marcos, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How you doing today?
What's up, Marcos? We're doing great.
Well, you heard there, a nice variety of fishing going on right now across the board. Those morning half-day trips, still seeing a lot of good bottom fishing in there, reds, rockfish, whitefish. Great trip if you want to get some fish to eat, have a barbecue, make some fish tacos. The afternoon trip, still catching a lot of calico bass. Definitely releasing more than they're keeping, but that's kind of become the norm for that calico bass fishing there. But very good calico bass fishing on those afternoon trips. The twilight trip is very similar. Starting to see, a mix of bass. Actually saw bonito on the twilight last night, some rockfish in the mix there. So all around good fishing. The half days, the morning, afternoon, and the twilight. We're running those twilight trips Thursday, Friday, and Saturday afternoons. Evenings if you can't make it out for the morning or afternoon, definitely a good option. The full day trips fishing back down at the island. Starting to see yellowtail again, yellowtail, bonita, barracuda, calico bass. A very good full day trip going on there. The Elgato on one of their charters actually went offshore and saw some yellowfin and yellowtail. So, like I said, a nice variety of fishing on all those trips there. The overnights, you're just hearing there, so definitely some big fish creeping back into the mix. The Cortez came back with a 300-pounder. The Outer Limits came back with a 300-pounder plus. There's some 200-pound fish on there.
Crazy.
And there's some really nice fish out there. Those bluefin, still seeing some yellowtail on some of those trips. So lots of options, some really nice weather. This is what you expect in August, some very good fishing. So definitely check out the website, seaforthlanding.com. Have our full schedule up there for those half days, the full days, the overnights, day and a half, some longer trips mixed in there. You can make your reservation straight online there. You can always give us a call at the office, 619-224-3383. If you guys want to come down, visit us in person, say hi, book a trip, we'd be more than happy to help you guys out. And lots of options for you right now, so definitely get out there fishing.
Man, great call, Marcos. Appreciate it. Great report. Sounds like fishing, boy, from the half day to day and a half and everything in between is happening right now, and like you said, as it should be in August. So appreciate a great report, and we'll talk to you next week.
I'll talk to you then, guys.
All right, Marcos, thanks for that. Corey, let's head all the way up to Angoon, Alaska, and talk to Captain John from Whalers Cove. Good morning, John.
Well, good morning, and I might say that our weather is not much different than what you have in San Diego. It's still sunny and beautiful here. We've had no rain, but I've got a fish story for you. Captain Ethan on the Sandy Lee had a father, grandson, and the grandfather and the father, whatever, the three generations. The kid was 9 years old. His name is Gavin. They went down to Russian Reef to get what else? Rockfish, maybe a lingcod, and the kid is fishing with a Shimano butterfly jig, and he's jigging this thing, and they were drifting from 170 to 180 feet of water, and the kid reefs up on it and thinks he has bottom at first, but it's not bottom. It's a big halibut. So he fights that halibut. They get it up to the surface, and since they're not anchored, they're drifting. This big slab lays out, so they get a perfect measurement, and they got it on video and photos. It was 74 inches, 178 pounds.
How cool.
178 pounds for a 9-year-old with a Shimano butterfly jig, jigging for rockfish. How cool is that?
That's awesome. What a cool experience for him, and just goes to show you that you never know what's going to go on, even if you're just trying to catch a little black bass, that you might get a fish of a lifetime. That's awesome, John. What a story.
Right, and he is the youngest ever to win the 2-for-1 on the halibut release.
That's
so
awesome.
at 9 years old, he got the 2-for-1. I told him he should sell it to his dad or get an increased allowance so he can come back himself and bring a buddy.
I think that's a good plan. Well, I know Pete is really excited to be up and fishing with you here. Our Let's Talk Hookup trip is happening here this next week, and, man, sounds like there's some great fishing for the guys.
Oh, yeah. We have everything, and we're getting more and more black cod all the time, too, so that's kind of cool. And the coho, the last few days, we did have one windstorm that kind of blew things around, and we had some whales come through yesterday that slowed it down. But there's spurts of schools of coho, and they're virtually everywhere, to the south and to the north. So you just have to go find them. And once you find a school and stay on the bait, then you can catch some fish. But we're also getting a number of kings that we're having to throw back. We've had a whole bunch of 20-pounders that we threw back this last week. And I measured one that was 39 inches that was a really nice king. And just had to let it go. That's the way it goes. And couple more that were in the 15, 16 range on my boat. Virtually all the boats are saying the same thing, where, they're catching them and having to let them go, but that's all right. It's a lot of fun to let those fish go.
Yep, no doubt about it, John. Well, glad to hear that there's such great fishing going on up at Whalers Cove. Why don't you shoot us the phone number if somebody wants to try and snag maybe a lost reservation that somebody slips out of for this season, or better yet, just start booking for next year?
Yeah, it's 1-800-423-3123. That's 1-800-423-3123. And check us out at whalerscovelodge.com. That's whalerscovelodge.com. Check out our YouTube and our Facebook, and you'll know what we're all about. We have the calmest water in all of southeast Alaska for fishing for salmon, halibut, rockfish, black cod, Pacific cod. This is the place to go if you don't like rough water.
I can attest to that. There's no doubt about it, John. We'll take good care of Pete and our Let's Talk Hookup group next week, and we'll look forward to hearing another report next Saturday.
All righty, bye-bye.
Thanks, John. Appreciate that. And that's going to wrap up our catch report, Corey.
Yeah, and it's sponsored by the Fish Pros at Fisherman's Processing in San Diego. Not only they offer the best processing for your fish when your trip returns to San Diego landings, now with Fish Pros to market, you can purchase fresh fish, smoked, jerkied fish, spices, rubs, cheeses, smoked cheeses, and their famous tuna burgers at their convenient Liberty Station location or at Fisherman'sProcessing.com. And the spices and rubs now are available at Dana Landing. They have them on the shelf at the deli.
Have them on the shelf at the deli. Yep.
Yeah, so you can get your Alexa sandwich and purchase some rubs and spices.
Yep. That poke mix is spot on. It really is. I mean, it's too easy. It is great. They did an unbelievable job on that.
You took the words out of my mouth. I was just going to say the same thing. It is the easiest thing to do. Like if you want to look like an all-star, you got friends coming over, you know, pull your piece of tuna out of the, fisherman's processing bag, or if you caught a fish that day, you dump that into the mix, you put in your wet ingredients, you spin it around with a spoon, and you've got this killer poke mix for, you do nothing. Like, you cut the fish into cubes and put it in a bowl. Like, it's awesome.
And what a killer deal. I mean, come in from your private boat, pull up to the dock, know you got a nice bluefin, know you're having it for that night. Yep. Just walk right into Dana Landing and get yourself the poke mix.
Right next to the soy sauce.
And don't forget to call me.
Yeah. There you go. And if all else fails, you can just make some flying fish poke. If you didn't bite, you just get your G-fly and cut them up, and away you go.
Good to go.
Well, the phones are packed. Everybody's going to jump into them. But I got a question real quick for Gene. With the ICAST just finishing up, is where a lot of cool stuff gets introduced. And this year in your world, there was a lot of really cool things. Any highlights, reel-wise or tackle-wise? It was exciting that, I know a lot of it gets introduced at ICAST and then it kind of trickles out as the season goes. But what are some of the new things we're looking forward to at ECBT?
That new Shimano SLX reel for $189 is, with the DC in it, is going to be a game changer, I think, for a lot of guys that have been scared away by the price tag previously.
Sure. So this has full DC microchip technology, which is a casting technology, right?
Correct.
And it basically it'll enhance your cast, not necessarily anti-backlash, but the benefit of a casting performance thing is it just about is anti-backlash. Like,
yeah, I mean, as close to perfect as you can get.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still backlash it, but it definitely helps a lot, especially for a beginner.
No doubt.
I'll tell you this: the DC 150, and this isn't because they gave me one. This isn't because you know what I mean. I was putting I purchased it. I bought it for full price, right?
Yeah.
That DC. Where I see the benefit isn't with a 3/4 ounce lead head. It's not with a larger bait that anybody can cast.
Right.
Where I excel with it is with a little tiny popper. I could throw Boog.
Good point.
Boog was so amazed that I could throw that little tiny popper a half mile and so smooth and with accuracy. So with the lighter baits and a little light tiny things, it's finessey. It's where it benefits me anyway.
DC
for sure.
is huge.
Yeah, well, down in El Salto, fish right there. I left all the other reels and I just fished that and had less backlashes, but
it's a killer reel.
Yeah. And we even though El Salto is land of like the giant fish, Steve and I had a bite that they wanted a small swim bait. We were fishing a 4-inch MC swim bait and a light lead head, 1/4 ounce, 3/8 ounce. It was everything scaled down and light, but you wouldn't know if you were going to hook a 12-incher or a 12-pounder, and so you still needed to fish full-size tackle. So
absolutely,
we were making those casts with light gear that's not easy to fish on big fish gear, and that DC is the difference maker. And now it's in a reel. You said it's going to be under $200.
Yeah, $189.99.
That's awesome. Crazy.
And are those in stock now, or is that soon coming?
Any day.
Okay,
it should be with my Speedmasters. Okay.
Let's hope it's soon, man. That's awesome.
I have them at Dana.
Oh boy!
So that
a
means
little higher
I
up
have
the
them.
food chain. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Well, hey, let's go live on the water to the Shogun now. We got Captain Paul Carameo calling us live from the Shogun. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, Rick. How you doing?
Man, we're doing great. Corey and I are in the studio with the boys from Dana Landing and ECBT, but we're a lot more anxious to hear what's going on board the Shogun.
We're actually turning around on trips right now, but we want to call in and report that Guadalupe Island is on fire right now. Extremely good fishing.
Oh, that's awesome news. We were actually talking about it in the break, and stoked that season has really gotten underway. And boy, tell us about it. Sounds like you had a great trip.
Yeah, very good fishing on 50 to 120 pound yellowfin tuna. We actually have a sprinkling of 25 to 30 pound yellowtail at the island this year as well. It seems like we get a few of those every day too.
Oh, man. How cool, Paul. Yeah, that's fantastic. What grade? 50 to 120 pounds. And is it fly line fishing? Is it the things at Guadalupe, we've kind of come to expect? And, what size line are they biting? And, boy, it sounds like you guys have been busy on the boat.
Yeah, it's been great. They've been actually chewing the heavier line a little bit. We've been hooking them fairly steady on 60-pound test, even hooking a couple fly line and 80-pound as well.
Awesome.
So
that's sweet.
They're on the chew. They're line shy at the moment.
That's a great deal, and man, Guadalupe is great. Now, how about everybody always talks about and hears about what's the shark scenario been like? Are you seeing them? Are you losing a bunch? Is it just you see one and it picks one off every once in a while and everybody oohs and ahs? How's the shark been down there?
It's been a little bit different every day. Some days they mess with you pretty good, and then there's been a few days when we haven't had much problem at all. And we've been having big days when that happens. Man,
that's so cool. What a great place to fish, too. You're in the lee of the island, and it's tropical Baja and warm and pulling on 50 to 120 pounders on fly line baits, man. It gets absolutely no better than that. I know that you guys have really built a niche around Guadalupe, and the Shogun is just such the perfect boat for it. And, that style of fishing has kind of become synonymous with the operation that you and Captain Renee are running. Are there any opportunities to go fishing this year? I know it's very popular and the boat really books up, but any chance to slide down now that the Guadalupe switch is really turned on?
Actually, there is. That's why I'm calling, Rick. We actually have a couple trips here that have a lot of open spots, some as soon as September. We have the schedule right here, September 9th to the 15th. We have many open spots on that trip, 6-day trip, headed to Guadalupe Island. And also in November, and December as well. In the last 2 years, November and December have been our best months out there.
That's literally what we were talking about during the break. It seems like now, clearly going to the Shogun right now seems like a great time to be there with the fishing you've had, but those late season trips tend to be less sharky and an even larger grade of fish, at least the last couple of years. So a great time to go down there would be that November, December time.
I agree, Rick. It's been very good to us the last 2-3 years, especially. The grade seems to get a little bit bigger. The sharks move out, and they're way more catchable. And you get a few less bites, but you end up getting bigger days because you have no issues. Clean fishing.
That's sweet. Clean fishing we'll take. Well, Paul, sounds like some great fishing going on in the Shogun right now. 50 to 120 pounders biting full speed style. We love to hear it. Thanks for the update, keeping us updated. And again, like you said, September 9 through the 15, you got some open spots if somebody wants to react and get on Guadalupe while it's firing on all cylinders.
That's right.
Right on. Well, if somebody wants to book one of those trips, Paul, what's the best way to go about it?
You can go online to shogunsportfishing.com and reserve online, or the easiest way is to call our office at 619-226-8030 and talk to Jen in person, and she can accommodate your needs and sign you up on any date of choice that you prefer.
Right on, Paul. Great job. Appreciate the great report. Keep us up to date and let us know when it's biting out there. Glad that the switch is on and you guys are getting them at the loop. Appreciate it very much.
Okay, thank you, Rick. Appreciate the airtime. Thank you.
We got you, buddy. Nice going, Paul. Well, Corey, the phones are packed up. Why don't we jump right back into them?
Let's do it. Let's talk to Dennis. Dennis is calling from San Diego this morning. Welcome. Let's talk hookup.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
What's up, Dennis?
Not much. Doing good. I'm down there in San Diego. Hey, I wonder if I wanted to go on the pier fishing, where would I buy some live sardine?
That's a great question.
Pier fishing, those guys catch their own sardines. So they use a sabiki rig. We could show you those at the shop, and they jig up their own sardines there at the pier.
I know when I was in Dana just a couple days ago, I was talking with Johnny. I came in per the usual and get the Dana Landing breakfast sandwich, and Johnny was just done weighing a 30-pound pier-caught yellowtail that was caught with live bait, right?
39.
Excuse me.
4, yeah, by one of our employees.
I'm going to guess that was a Crystal Pier.
Yes, Crystal Pier.
How about that? Dead on.
And you said that's a regular customer of yours?
No, that's one of our employees.
Oh, even better. Okay, yeah. I thought, okay. So, fill us in. So the pier live bait thing is a doable thing. It just takes a little bit of work, and you could set somebody up with the ways of going about that.
Yeah, we have the sabiki there, and you could talk to the guys at the store. Some of them kind of fish religiously down there just trying to catch those giant ones. So, but yeah, the sardine at the pier is pretty. If they're around, they're easy to catch. Yeah, they're catchable.
And here's the thing. I know that when bait was very tough to make, when we couldn't find the large schools and that kind of thing, there was always a little bit around the structure, a little bit around the pier, a little bit. So it doesn't have to be a huge school. You just go jig up and down the pier, and you'll catch a few. And you wouldn't. It's tough to imagine, but sardine, a 6 to 8 inch sardine, actually eats live little fry. I mean, they're actually chasing little bait
meat
fish.
Eaters.
Yes, yeah, it's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. The story behind that yellowtail was this kid Angel works for us. He's always telling me, "Hey, this is biting down the pier." And I'm like, "Sounds good." Anyways, I'm just it wasn't very interesting to me. So anyways, so he's telling me about catching the fish. He said, "Well, the day before, my buddy had caught a 33, but I had to work here. I was really angry." So he went down there and he goes like, "I'm beating it." And I mean, it is like a little culture down there. Those guys know when the big ones roll through, and he's just like, he goes, "I saw him coming through," and he goes, "I have my sardine," and he goes, "I saw there was a school." He has the whole thing down, and to the point where he had the fish hooked, and he was going back. I mean, it's a 40-pounder. Yeah, I mean, I've gotten one 40-pounder, and it was
a lifetime,
down on a 10-day. Anyways, and he's going back and forth. He calls the guy on his cell phone. The guy comes down with his pier gaff to help him gaff it.
All the fish is on the line
down there. Yeah,
wild.
So it is amazing the fishery that's down there that I would have no idea until he
Isn't
really
that
told
crazy?
me. But
And here's the thing: we're hearing it on Let's Talk Hookup. You can go right down and talk to Johnny and talk to what's the gentleman's name?
Angel. And there's another guy, Vinny. I mean, these guys know what they're doing down there. It's like their gig. That's
Angel is not going to be very happy. I think we just blew up.
You're probably right.
But again, that's why we keep saying that's why you go to a shop like Dana, because that's what these guys do. They live it and breathe it and they do it. And How does one go about keeping the bait on the pier? Like you just hook one, fish one? Is it that kind of scenario?
I think he does a little bit of hook one, fish one. He also uses a water cooler, like kind of a big insulated water cooler with a bubbler in there.
Sure.
So
keep it alive a little while.
Yeah, that keeps it insulated so you can handle, have a handful of baits in there. Maybe 2 or 3 sardines will stay alive for a while.
What a cool deal.
I dig that, man. I think that's awesome. Dennis, I hope that answers your question for you. Appreciate it very much.
All right. Hey, when we come back on Let's Talk Hookup, we're going to hear more about all this cool stuff, and we're going to be right back on 97.3 The Fan.
This is Greg Stotesbury from AFCO. For more than 58 years, the American Fishing Tackle Company has been recognized as the premier manufacturer of precision-built offshore fishing tackle. AFCO continues this tradition today with an innovative technical fishing clothing line designed and built by fishermen for fishermen. From our next-generation waterproof shorts like Tactical or Stealth to our new anhydrous waterproof jacket and bibs, the entire AFCO clothing line is purpose-built with the latest AFTEC fabrics and features designed to deliver for the demanding angler. To find AFCO products, go to AFCO.com and find a dealer near you.
Pete here to tell you about our friends Jim and Mary and their incredible crew at Poway Valley Collision. I hear it all the time. Hey, I took my car to Poway Valley Collision, and you were right. Mentioned you guys, and they gave us the VIP treatment, fixed our car, and even gave us a special price. Believe me when I say Poway Valley Collision is worth the drive from anywhere in the Southland. We know you may not need them now, but when accidents happen, it pays to go to Poway Valley Collision. And I'm not fooling. Our listeners can save hundreds of dollars on your car or truck repair. They work with most insurance companies, including Auto Club, MetLife, and Wawanesa, and more. All you do is call Jim, Mary, or any of their team members, and they do all the rest. No hassles, just top-notch work and VIP treatment. I had my car repaired at Poway Valley Collision, and the job was perfect. So get your vehicle fixed right at Poway Valley Collision, 14211 Garden Road in Poway. Check PowayValleyCollision.com.
Hey, this is Rosie with Cedros Sport Fishing. Cedros Island is considered the yellowtail and calico bass fishing capital in the world, and nobody does it better than Cedros Sport Fishing. We are committed to providing first-class service to our guests as well as an unforgettable fishing experience. We have made a good thing even better. We now have a direct flight departing to the CBX in San Diego. Leave home in the morning and fish in the afternoon. We have a beautiful waterfront lodge with first-class accommodations and meals. What are you waiting for? Call me at 619-772-7570 or check out CedrosSportFishing.com. Book soon. Trips are going fast.
When you want dependable service for your outboard, your first choice should be H&H Marine in Pacific Beach. Owner and mechanic Jeff Hughes found there was a real need for great outboard repair, and that's why he started H&H Marine. Jeff and his crew will service your motors at their convenient Garnett Avenue shop, in your boat slip, or at your home. As a factory-authorized Yamaha service center, when Jeff takes the job, it's done right. He's worked on Pete and Rick's boats for years and comes highly recommended. H&H Marine is also your source for new Yamaha and Mercury outboards as well as original parts. Need a new bait tank? H&H Marine has you covered with top-of-the-line blue water bait tank sales and expert installation. In the market for a new boat, H&H Marine is a striper boat dealer with great prices on their full line of affordable fishing boats. So for outboard service when and where you want it, outboard sales, striper fishing boats, and bait tank systems, check out H&H Marine, 2680 Garnett Avenue in Pacific Beach. On the web at hhmarineservice.com.
It's another innovation from Seaguar, the proven leader in saltwater leader material. Introducing new Gold Label Leader. It's Seaguar's thinnest leader material yet, 18% thinner and 17% stronger than any other Seaguar leader. That means it's even less visible underwater and creates more natural presentations for better catch rates in clear water and on leader-shy fish. New Gold Label is made with exclusive Seaguar fluorocarbon resins in a double structure process which provides exceptional knot and tensile strength. Yet it's soft and cinches easily for fail-safe knots. Get Seaguar Gold Label at your favorite tackle dealer or learn more at seaguar.com.
You know, you can use your smart speaker to stream 97.3 The Fan.
Oh, my God, that's a great idea.
It's probably the most useful thing it'll do for you all day.
We are going to start a revolution, okay?
Just say, play 97.3 The Fan.
That sounds like fun.
Great.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on 97.3 The Fan, and we're having a great time in studio, Rick.
Some good fishing going on, man, and some great info going on. We just, so much cool stuff, and there's so much stuff to cover with these guys, Corey, like I say, from fresh to salt, and the phone lines are open, man. It's a great time to call.
833-288-0973, and give us a shout. We're giving away 2 gift cards, one to Dana Landing on Mission Bay, and the other one to East County. Thanks, Gene. Thanks, John, Steve. And your choice, or maybe not your choice, but we'll figure it out. $50. I'll take
it, man. Yeah.
Right. You might not have any choice. I might be taking them.
Yeah, nobody's turning that down. That's for sure. A shopping spree at 2 of the great tackle shops in San Diego for sure. And it's been a very busy morning on the phones, but this is a great opportunity to call. We had a call drop off during the break. There's literally an open phone line right now. If you want to call, you can get through to Adam at 833-288-0973. Let's jump back into the phones, Corey.
Let's do it. Let's talk to Daryl. Daryl, good morning and welcome to the show.
What's up, Daryl?
Morning. How you doing today?
Great, buddy. Good morning.
Morning.
Question. I'm going on a 2-day, and I'm like you, Rick. I love to throw iron. Are any of these fish really biting any iron, and which ones would you recommend?
Johnny, what do you think? Has there been much in the way of artificial casting? I know iron maybe not as much, but still certainly some bites I'm sure to be had on it.
It depends on what you're on. Like Kyle came in this morning getting ready for his offshore trip, and he said yesterday the yellowfin were eating the surface iron pretty good.
Oh, great.
And he said it was the tatty stuff that's got the that has that kind of fish
photo finish.
The prism.
Yeah.
He said that was definitely the trick, and then also poppers. Specifically like the Halco 160, which is like the second from the biggest size, seem to be working good. Now, on your 2-day, I don't know what zone you guys are going to be fishing. If you're fishing out west by Clemente there, then I would definitely have some flat falls to fish in the dark, and just, it's not going to hurt to throw a jig like that during the day, Like
totally.
Even the surface iron, if you see fish breezing through or something, they will bite it.
The thing that's so cool and kind of exciting right now is we're watching it develop. The trophy opportunity is out to the west, and now with all this yellowfin starting to filter in and some good kelping, down below, you've seen yellowtail and dorado on those kelp trips. A 2-day can be a great opportunity if the stars align. And day 1 you can go down and get your fill of yanking and cranking and, hopefully get yellowfin and dorado and yellowtail, and then day 2 go out to the west to, settle up jackpot, as they say, and try and get that big trophy. The big fish opportunity mixed with the variety is a really cool part about as we get into the later part of the summer here.
Yeah, I know last weekend they did that on the Impulse. The first day they went to Clemente, got the big tuna, left that night down to the kelp patty grounds, loaded up on kelp patty yellowtail, came up the line out west of the islands, got into foamer stuff, and got some more bluefin and yellowfin on the poppers.
Craziness.
So,
that is so rad.
Yeah.
We've mentioned it a bunch of times and how great they've done on the big fish and things like that, but tell us a little bit about the Impulse. That's yet another facet of Dana Landing that we really haven't covered much, and Daryl, appreciate the phone call very much, buddy. One thing that we haven't really got into is the Impulse and the blackjack and the great trips and styles of opportunities as you go fishing at Dana Landing.
They're good boats. Well, I mean, they're great boats. I think they're the top of the top echelon of 6-pack boats. The Impulse has Furuno side scan sonar, everything
super comfortable.
Yeah, cold. We have ice. Cold storage with cold plates below deck to store your fish. Great food. We try to put together a crew that no matter how the fishing is, you're going to have a good time on the boat. They're going to take care of you food wise and just show you a good time. And the fishing hopefully is good, but you're going to have a good time whether fishing's good or not. And kind of the same thing with the blackjack, just on a smaller scale, more local trips, full service. Energetic crew that are they want to catch fish, they love to catch fish, but they also want you to have a good time no matter what, and maybe teach kids how to fish, and there's a more going on than just going out there fishing.
I think blackjack is one of the most hidden gems of fishing. I will say it. I am not aware at all of a more comfortable 4-pack fishing boat than the blackjack. Period. It's a fast, new lures. It's extremely comfortable. It's very nice and very affordable for local 4-pack fishing. Whether you're fishing the coast or fishing for tuna, it's an awesome deal. And there aren't, at least to my knowledge, I don't know of a nicer 4-pack than that.
Yeah, and you also got to, remember the whole Dana Landing part of it too. You park across the street, you walk about 100 feet in the front of the store. I'm here for the blackjack. Sign this, okay? Walk out the back of the store. There you are. There's literally, if it's a 7:00 trip, we tell the guys show up 6:30, 6:45.
Cool
Don't sweat it, and they hang out. They have a cup of coffee.
There.
Guy comes over, and when it's time to pick up your fish, we wheel it up. You pull your car literally to the top of the ramp, and it's a 2-foot walk into your cooler. There's ice there. We get you all styled out. It is
cool. That
landing is so perfect for that 4 to 6 pack. Well, it's what we do.
The best.
It's perfect for it. I mean, it wouldn't be good for anything else. But
Steve,
it's perfect
and you can hang out on the back deck and watch the ramp and watch all the boats coming in, and it's just a cool place to hang out.
There must be seating for, I don't know, over 100 people and tables,
Yes.
and more than that, and all the chairs, and you watch the launch ramp and just chill. Guys are ready to get the boat. Come on up, introduce themselves. Come on down to the boat. Here's the deal. It's very casual and
hey, there's a lot of times I just go hang out on the tables out there and watch a ramp and just enjoy the ocean and hang out. It's just cool having a Lexus sandwich and just enjoy the scene.
Yep.
Right?
And the one thing I know about Impulse too is that I've always liked, Steve, that's you've always said the same thing. That's your boat. You've never spared an expense ever, like anything that boat needed, whether it be electronics or communications or sonars or fish holds or sea deck or whatever it is. Like, you've always said the same thing. That's my boat, and I want it to be as comfortable as it possibly can be. And you basically you get a yacht for the day at a very affordable price. It's an awesome rig. You guys do such a great job with it.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up loving that 42-foot Birchin. Was always the boat I always wanted.
Classic,
Never thought I'd be able to own one. Got one, and I've obviously spent a whole bunch of money on it because I was going to fish it sometimes, and now it's a charter boat, and I might get a day or two in September, and that, that's about it. So it is our baby and my baby, and we certainly
I love it.
Certainly make it. I spent a lot of money on it.
It's very comfortable.
So,
It's a great ride. Well, the phones are packed up, Corey. Why don't we jump right back into it?
Let's talk to Randy. Randy called from Costa Mesa this morning. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup, Randy.
What's up, Randy?
Good morning, Corey and Rick. How you doing this morning? Great show.
Better, buddy.
Good. Hey, you guys haven't talked about your trip down to Cedros. I need to hear about it. I saw some great Instagram, but let's hear it.
Randy, we had a blast. Yeah, it was a very, very fun trip, and tomorrow we have a very unique show in that it's just Corey and I talking inshore fishing. So certainly going to go over in great detail, but I will tell you it was. Having been to Cedros a lot of times, this was the best trip I think I've ever been on there. Pete and I were fortunate enough to go down before the Cedros sport fishing operation was a thing. We went with Tom and Adrian when they were just kind of checking the viability of whether this would work for flying down and fishing before there was a property. And I've got to see it under great conditions and poor and good fishing and not. And I think that this was the best I've ever been on in both smoothness of the operation. It's hard to fathom that they do that good of a job on a remote island in Mexico. Like, the level of service is just crazy. The food was spectacular. The boats were very comfortable. And then the fishing was just, this year it was just, Randy, it was off the hook. It was such good surface iron fishing for yellowtail, which I still think is my most favorite thing in the world to do. You literally, you had to quit every morning. It was just too much. The last morning I fished, we were keeping track, which we don't often do. I had 16 yellowtail by 9 o'clock in the morning on the surface iron, and they truly did. It averaged 25 pounds.
That's crazy.
The
Rick.
big fish on our boat with my buddy Steve caught was a 40-pounder. That was on an IGFA certified scale, was a 40-pounder on the surface iron. That day, our 5 big fish were 40, 38, 36, 36, and 30.
That's crazy.
I mean, and those are all surface iron fish. Part of a triples and quadruples, and we were forcing our captain to fish with us. We fished with a guy named Javier who was just awesome. He's so good and like so respectful, like not wanting. He doesn't want to fish because that's not his job. You know, his job is to take care of the passengers. But you know that he loved it, so. You know, we would ask him for a favor, and hey, can you hook one for Steve? Like he'd hook one, and like nobody would be willing to take the rod from him. We'd make him wind it in. Like we had the best time. The fishing was so good.
I'll tell you what shows it, Rick, is the Instagram stuff you put up. Check out the Let's Talk Hookup Instagram, Randy, and look at the photos. Look at the huge bass and the video. The video of all that sardine. Was that sardine?
I've never. Yeah, it was. It was sardine.
Puddling.
Every day there were bait balls that would just blow your mind. Like, I mean, half-mile squares of just pelicans and terns and seagulls, and it looked like it was raining. The water literally looked like it was raining. There was so much fish, and you could blind cast in any direction and have 2 or 3 yellows, follow your jig back to the boat. It was so good the first day that day 2. The average day at Cedros typically starts with going out and having very good yellowtail fishing in the morning. Then oftentimes you'll fish calico bass midday. Then a lot of times you'll finish fishing yellowtail again in the afternoon. The first day it was so good and we had all those big ones that we chose to do something different, and we dedicated the whole day to bass fishing. So we made a complete circle around the island, which I had never done before, which was really cool. And we fished, and we had the right weather to do so. So we fished way around the weather side of the island to areas that I had never been before. And although we fished a lot of areas that had really good kelp growth, we had one stretch that was probably a 30 or 40 minute long drift over just hard bottom reef where we were fishing 7-inch viejos on 1.5-ounce lead heads for, without question, the best, I would call it quality bass fishing. Not 10-pounders, but you almost didn't see a fish that weighed less than 3 pounds.
That's crazy.
And as fast as your swim bait could get down to the bottom, you'd hook one. We fished 7-inch viejo because it got bigger bites. The problem with fishing a 7-inch viejo,
there's a lot of tail hanging out.
You got it, man. And there were so many bass down there that you would burn through the tails. Now, MC swim baits, as we all know, are a very tough bait. Like you get a lot of fish per bait. The problem with this is you catch a 3-pounder and it's more rubber than what would fit in his mouth. So you can imagine half of the bait and tail is sticking out of the fish as you're winding it in. Every time you wound one up, there would be 6 or 7 bass following it up, trying to eat the bait that was in the mouth, and one would grab a hold of the tail and turn the other direction, pink, and pop the tail off. And then you could just throw it back down there without the tail, but we're tackle junkies, so there's no way that was going on. But it was incredible, Randy. Probably the best trip I could say, and then the people at the lodge were just fantastic. Like you almost feel bad, like the camp director Richard would yell at you when you picked your own bag up because there's 3 guys that were running to do it for you. It was incredible and an awesome trip, and we'll certainly tell more about it tomorrow. But man, I could go on and on for the full 2 hours. It was fantastic.
I look forward to hearing it tomorrow, and I got to get my butt down there.
It's a great one, Randy. Yeah, and like I said, appreciate the phone call. Tomorrow is going to be a very interesting show. We're kind of going to do an inshore spin, and we've got we're so fortunate here at Let's Talk Hookup that, in my opinion, the best inshore fisherman on our coast is our co-host Corey, and it's just going to be Corey and I hanging out and talking tackle and talking fishing and all things that are inshore fishing. So it's going to be a very fun show tomorrow. We'll definitely cover that and just everything, all the things, Corey,
and
that are
fresh back from El Salto. I could talk about 2 weeks worth of El Salto fishing, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a fun time and a lot of good information. But appreciate the phone call very much.
Let's jump back in. Let's talk to Roger. Roger calling from San Diego. Good morning.
Hey, Roger.
Good morning, guys. Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Great. Good morning.
Yeah, so I'm taking the 8-day trip, the last trip of September on the Red Rooster.
Nice.
And I was just wondering, I was just wondering, I kind of asked around, but never got any real scoop on it. How does the moon phase really affect the bite?
Well, that's kind of a funny thing. I know Rick and John and Steve, they're all ready to say something, but and you guys can elaborate on it, but the moon phase always has a part to do with everything, whether you're largemouth fishing, calico, offshore tuna fishing. But it's really been weird the last couple of years. It has an effect, but it's different every moon phase. Correct, John?
Yeah, that's correct. You never know. It will have an effect on the fishing, but you don't know what the effect's going to be. It could be better, could be... Yeah, I mean, I think Corey summed it up best there. It does affect things, but it's...
Doesn't mean it's good or bad.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it's good or bad.
Some of the best bluefin bites the last few years have been on the full moon.
On the full moon, yeah.
I would say if you were into planning it and you were trying to catch those big ones, there's no doubt. That fish tends to group up and bite. On the new and on the full moon, that window, they always say the 3 days before to the 3 days after, there's been great fishing. The moon is nothing more than a great excuse is when things don't come together.
There it is.
If we caught a bunch, it's because we're great fishermen and we figured them out. And if we swung and we missed, well, the damn moon was wrong.
Right,
It's not our fault. I mean, clearly we would have caught them.
And look at the bite that we've had this last week that you guys described from the beginning of the show. It's some of the biggest fish and the most epic fishing we've had.
I can tell you for sure the most important thing is to go fishing.
There it is.
You guys have said it 100 times. You got to go out there.
Yes. And it can sometimes affect your bait, both in a positive and negative way as far as catching and making bait goes. It can affect... sometimes the fish on the moon, especially when that big flatfall fishing was around, that fish bit really good in the dark during that full moon time. So does it have an effect? Absolutely. But, man, you're going on a great long-range boat at a fantastic time of the year, and you're going to make a catch. That rooster does a great job, and there's no doubt you're going to have a great trip. And, Roger, we want to hear about it when you get back.
Oh, you bet.
Appreciate the phone call very much.
Yeah, that was a great one. Let's jump back into it. Let's talk to Goldie. Goldie from North Park. Welcome to the show this morning.
Hey, Goldie.
Hey, Ricky. First of all, I'd like to thank you very much for turning me on to the Royal Star. Incredible boat.
That's a great
one. Incredible crew. They'll do everything for you except wake up in the middle of the night and take a pee for you.
They are very accommodating. Yeah, no doubt.
But incredible fishing at Guadalupe. The ticket, which surprised me, was no mono. Braid to fluoro was the ticket.
Okay.
And it was all the fish you can catch from, I'd say, 50. I think Dennis Carrata got one at 120 on 40-pound test. So,
wow.
Yeah. All you guys who are thinking, go. The sharks, as Skip Paul said on the Shogun, were on and off.
Okay.
When they were on, they were there. But it was just great fishing. I thank you very much for turning me on to the Royal Star. Talk at you guys later. This
All right.
is Goldie out.
Goldie, great report, man. Glad you had such a good one, and glad that Guadalupe has turned on, both for yourself and for all the anglers on upcoming trips. And appreciate the phone call, buddy. Nice going, and glad you had such a good trip. Thanks a lot for that. Before we do run out of time, Gene, I wanted to bug you again. We'd kind of alluded to it earlier that, the beauty of ECBT is, you guys have your pulse on all the things, and, we talked about what I always do is coming in there, the Wednesday before to put a game plan together. If somebody's wanting to go fishing this weekend, and they're like me, who would be a, newer or novice when it comes to freshwater bass fishing, where are we going and what are we doing? What's kind of the ticket right now in our world of San Diego City Lakes down here?
I mean, we're coming into topwater right now pretty good. So my neighbor went to El Cap the other day, and he caught most of his fish on a fluke, a frog, just kind of cruising around the lake, blind casting. But he fished 4 hours in the afternoon and put together like 12 fish at Cap. San V, like I said, has been really good, but it has slowed down a little bit, and El Cap had been slow up until about a week ago.
Okay.
So I would say I would send you to El Cap if it were up to me, and I would tell you to bring all the fun stuff: buzz baits, frogs, flukes. Get out there and catch them on top water. It's an exciting bite.
And those lures are easy to fish because it's just chuck them out, wind them in, wait for the fish to climb on. The other thing that you guys really do specialize, we talk about all the time, is live bait. Yep. Dana, or the ECBT rather, is the only place that I know of that you can go and you can get live bait. And if you're bringing kids, you're bringing a buddy, you're bringing your girl that maybe doesn't fish all the time, you want to talk about a way of maybe guaranteeing yourself some bites. I know it's not what you and the kids behind the counter that are so dedicated fishing, getting a rad topwater blow up, but if you want to have a very successful day, maybe you're a saltwater guy and you want to try a fun day, with your girl and the fam, you can go in and you can get a couple dozen live baits from the shop, and I mean, just about guarantee your success.
Correct.
It is. There is no doubt about it. If you want to go have some fun and have a really cool day, I mean, some of these lakes are beautiful. What they've done, and it makes for a fun day, even if you're not a dedicated freshwater bass guy. not a lot of money and a quick trip down to ECBT, you can get yourself totally dialed in for a fun day with the family.
Absolutely, and that you're right. I've got 2 daughters, and that's exactly what I do. Is I go grab 3 or 4 dozen. We'll fish them either on a bobber or off of a bobber, fly lining them, exactly what we would do in saltwater. And like you said, it's guaranteed to put some smiles on their
That's
faces and get some pictures, that you'll always have.
And same deal, like you can go over the rigs. I mean, it's very easy fishing, but a quick 10 minutes in at the shop, and the boys would have you totally dialed in.
Absolutely.
That's cool. Very cool. All right, well, hey, when we come back, we got more, Corey.
Hey, we're going to find out who's won these 2 gift certificates, one to East County and one to Dana Landing. We're going to be right back on Let's Talk Hookup on 97.3 The Fan.
Rock Cod Rick here for West Coast Marine and Parker Boats. You see them all over Southern California waters. Parker Boats at the launch ramp, the offshore islands. You wake up in the morning on an overnight trip and there they are. Parker Boats of all size fishing in the same area as the sporties. There's a good reason for it. Fishability and seaworthiness. Of all the boats out there, my boat partner and I chose to get a brand new 25 Parker center console from Kevin Kelly and the gang at West Coast Marine, and I could not be happier. Wow, what a fishing machine. Parker Marine builds a heavy-duty, industrial-strength boat, probably overbuilt, but that's why so many 4- and 6-pack charters choose to operate Parkers. We thank the guys at Pinnacle Sport Fishing, Season Sport Fishing, One-Man Charters, Black and Blue Sport Fishing for their confidence in Parker boats. Take it from me, if you are ready for a new Parker at a fair, upfront, and honest deal, you need to see Kevin Kelly at West Coast Marine, located at 1555 Newport Boulevard in Costa Mesa, or check out their inventory and information at westcoastmarine.com.
There's nothing more peaceful than fishing. Just me, my pole, and some bait. Oh, and my life jacket, of course. I like fish, but I don't want to end up at the bottom of the water with them. Save the ones you love. A message from California State Parks Division of Boating and Waterways.
Turner's Outdoorsman, Southern California's #1 shooting, hunting, and fishing tackle retailer since 1971, is right in your neighborhood. Now with stores throughout Southern, Central, and Northern California. No one does it better. Turner's Outdoorsman brings you the best prices and selection, plus a knowledgeable staff that will help make your day on the water or in the field more fun. Stop by your neighborhood Turner's Outdoorsman. To find a location nearest you, check the web at turners.com and sign up for special deals and more. For over 5 decades, Lee Palm Sport Fishing has set the standard in long-range fishing that they pioneered long ago. The Red Rooster 3 sets a new standard of excellence. The Red Rooster 3 is one of the most modern, quiet, and fastest long-range vessels in the fleet. They have handpicked the finest crew to make your trip a memorable one. The Red Rooster 3 offers trips from 3 to 18 days and runs year-round to the best fishing spots on the planet. Ride the Red Rooster 3 once and you'll be back again. Call the Red Rooster 3 at 619-224-3857 or see them on the web at redrooster3.com.
It's Yamaha's Power the Summer sales event. For a limited time, eligible new 90 to 300 horsepower 4-strokes include 2 free years of Yamaha extended service. And eligible 2.5 to 75 horsepower 4-strokes include up to $500 in dealer credit. Visit your local Yamaha Outboards dealer today. Yamaha. Reliability starts here. Offer ends August 30th, 2019. Subject to change at any time. Other restrictions and conditions apply. 24-month Yamaha extended service added to 36-month factory limited warranty. See authorized Yamaha outboard dealers for details. Cannot be used with any other Yamaha offer.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on 97.3 The Fan. 2 winners. Number 1, Roger, San Diego gets the East County Bait and Tackle, $50. And Daryl in Covina gets the Dana, $50. Daryl's going to be stoked. Roger's going to be stoked.
No doubt about that, man. Guys, can't begin to thank you enough. It's crazy how fast 2 hours goes. And if there's one thing we know is that it's a good tackle store, is full of great information. You guys certainly prove that. There's no better spots to go down to. Gene, if somebody wants to come visit you at ECBT, how do they do that? Where do we find you?
10137 Main Avenue, Lakeside, California, right next to the rodeo where the 67 ends.
Can't miss it. Easy to find. Great shop. I love it. And Johnny, Steve, thanks again for coming down, hanging with us. I mean, the baits, the tackle, the gear, the knowledge, the boats, the food. You literally have everything at Dana. And if somebody wants to come find you, how do we do it?
2580 Ingram Street, right next to the Dana Landing launch ramp.
Yep, no doubt about it. I love it. It's where I keep my boat. It's where I do my fishing, and we love it. Well, hey, we sure appreciate you. A great show. Thanks for listening this morning. Tomorrow, we got a very fun show, very neat. Corey and I are going to be talking inshore fishing. Going to be a lot of fun. Thanks to Adam. Thanks to Brian. We got more Let's Talk Hookup coming for you tomorrow right here on 97.3 The Fan.